Thunder, we go cruise the mall. Huh? Your mother said, no, only trouble. Bruh, tell her we're going to church. I'm not lying. Get Bible study, Christians, and worship at the Blessed Life store. It's a church at the mall. Shoots, we go. Plus, get Christian chicks, you know. Ah, Ma, what you doing? I said, you can go Blessed Life store too. Get girdles and Spanx too. Ah, Ma, no, I'll call CPS. Wow. Bruh. Okay, I see you there. Shoots. Ma. Ah, I even broke my hand.
Aloha mai ohana. Welcome to another life-changing episode of Living Hope.
You know it. Life-changing because good leads to good. Good thoughts lead to a good life. Good news leads to a good hope, and good hope leads to a good future. And we got the goods.
In tough times, we truly need good news. The good book says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil by doing good. And in these unprecedented times, we overcome together by sharing good news and good times. And that's exactly what we're about to do today. So, let's roll.
If you visited a mall lately, you may have walked right by our guests. Or maybe you walked into them. Or maybe you even know them.
The Blessed Life Store is a hui or collection of local vendors doing brisk business under one roof. They have locations at Windward Mall, Pearl Ridge, and Kamakana Ali'i in Kapolei. They love God, love people, and send out that message via their marketplace ministry. In other words, the mall is their pulpit.
A massive pulpit. Thousands of people walk by or stop by daily, and even if they don't walk into the Blessed Life store, they'll see the sign and boom, get a blessing amidst the shopping.
And wait till you hear the story behind the store. It'll grab your hearts. Stay tuned as we talk story with the mom and pop who opened this shop, Junior and Shari Yamaguchi.
But before we do, here comes your good news, Hawaii. Aloha State, activate. Aloha Spirit, activate. Activate. Aloha, aloha, Donovan, come on, activate. Activate.
Yes, aloha, and aloha to you too, but what's the cheering all about?
Hello, today we are celebrating a double header, double portion blessing. 2 world championships won in 1 month.
All right, congratulations to Hawaii's 2 World Series winning championship teams.
There you go.
First up, the 2022 Little League Baseball World Series champions, who defeated Curaçao in a blowout contest on August 28th in Pennsylvania. They represented the U.S. West region and went on to finish undefeated in the 20-team tournament. This Little League championship pitted teams from all around the world against one another, and in fact, Curaçao had to defeat Chinese Taipei, Mexico, Canada, Nicaragua, and Italy to meet Hawaii in the final round, making Hawaii our world champions. So impressive.
Now there's the excitement we wanted. In addition to that championship, Hawaii also won the Babe Ruth World Series Championships in Virginia on August 19th. This is a highly competitive championship between all 50 United States. Hawaii had to first win the state championships before traveling to the Western Regionals competition in early August. They ultimately beat all other states, Hamas, for the World Series in Virginia. The 13-under team was coached by head coach Donnie Kadokawa, who opened a Dodgers training academy in Hawaii just last year.
Coach Kato has a strong emphasis on fundamentals and, interestingly, on the aloha spirit as well.
Yeah.
After each game, he trained his players to thank their parents first thing right then and there for being their #1 supporters and to always treat the opposing team with honor and respect.
That's how it should be. The boys also became known as ambassadors of aloha saw as much for their performance on the field as off. For example, they made food for all the baseball field workers. They also made lei and omiyage for their competitors.
One parent from a competing team even wrote a social media post thanking the Hawaii team for picking up trash at the ballpark after a game.
Class act. One Hawaii team mom, Diane Park, said, quote, "We don't just represent ourselves or Kato baseball, we rep Hawaii. Work hard, show up, be grateful, be humble."
When the champions came home, they were greeted with a hero's welcome.
Both teams were honored with a concert from Kapena and Fiji at the Waikiki Shell and a huge parade of champions through downtown Honolulu with an official proclamation by our mayor.
Congratulations to our 2 Hawaii World Champion teams. Thank you for making us proud and for reminding all of us that we can make a difference in someone's life simply by pursuing our passions and following our dreams.
That's good. Aloha for now, and as we sign off, always remember, don't just look for the good news, be the good news. Aloha! Chee-hoo!
There are times when I just feel so alone, even in my own house, amongst my own family. There are times where I just feel isolated. It's so easy to feel like everyone else's life is so much better than mine, and that I am not enough. For me, loneliness is especially hard when I remember loved ones who have passed away. If you're feeling like that, can I just say that you are loved? Your voice matters. Your life matters. You make the world a better place. Never forget that you are important. To find community and be a part of a family, start with us. And when you do, you'll find that even today, hope is alive.
Discover hope this weekend at New Hope Oahu. For more information, visit enewhope.org.
Aloha mai kako, aloha. Welcome to Living Hope TV and to the Blessed Life Store with a very special family. It's Junior and Shari Yamaguchi. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I just love welcoming people to their own store and their own home. I just take over. You know, this store, by the way, started off almost as a dare that could have led to a divorce, very seriously, but that was before the first store, before the first grand opening, and today you have 3 locations in 3 of Hawaii's major malls. Your family is doing better than ever, and you have 14 different brands as a hui in each store. What's the secret to this spectacular success, Shari?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a secret. Thinking back about how we arrived here, I feel like it's just little steps of obedience that God placed on our heart, little downloads He gave to us, and just slowly taking steps to where we are today.
We're here in the middle of Pearl Ridge, and the Spirit of God is blazing like a fire. I mean, you've got a prayer room, you've got a testimony, we've got a worship stage here. I was even telling the crew 2 fun facts about Junior and Shari's testimony. Number 1, Junior was in a lifestyle where he was on the FBI's blacklist, and there was one point in their marriage relationship when you were ready to call your Usos in California and dump her dead body over H3. With that said, keep this in mind, Pastor John.
I think people actually want to hear the whole testimony now.
It's a major testimony.
But you know, when we walked in, we heard that when COVID started, what you actually did, it was something very unique in a retail space in the middle of one of the largest malls in Hawaii. You did something so different. Yes. Junior, can you tell us what you all did? That was so great.
Yeah, it was just on our heart not to worry about so much about the selling of the clothes, but we created a space where people could come and fellowship and hang out with us and talk story. So we actually had a big table, and people would come in and just do their daily devotions with us. And they
you
would
used to have a Bible on the table.
Yeah, we would
right?
sit in journal, and actually my wife.
Actually, one of our first customers one Sunday, the first Sunday that we opened, came down and said, "Hey, you should have a highlighter so people could highlight." And they actually went upstairs at Windward Mall at this pen store and came back and brought us our first highlighters. And that's so it's just people just adding different
just
ideas. Yeah.
I think the churches couldn't be open 24/7,
Right.
but we could be here
Wow.
feeding the
So,
moms.
Junior, in the middle of one of the largest malls, you actually had kind of like church going on.
You know.
Right?
This
during COVID. Oh my
This
God.
is kind of like our ministry here.
Yeah.
I created a ministry where people could come in here and just ask for prayer. It's like it's not a requirement, but we ask our staff here if you have the ability to pray for people. Like even during Christmas, sometimes our lines go all the way to this back door.
Yes, sir.
But I tell our staff if there's somebody that at the register that needs just to pray for, or they open up for prayer, please pray for them. Don't worry about the sales. We don't worry about sales here at Pro Ridge.
I know when I first came in, you know, it's such a beautiful retail space, and Junior showed me the prayer room in the back, and I thought, I never heard of a retail space having a prayer room that people can come and just pray. So I said, hey, how cool is that, Junior? They can pray and shop. He goes, no. It's not about what did you tell me?
We're not selling clothes. We're selling hope here.
Oh my God. Chicken skin.
So there's days that not only do we bless our customers, but in reality they come back and bless us, because we have hard days too, you know, and we struggle just as much as our customers do. So when I'm having a bad day, our customers we have loyal customers that shop in here at least three, 4 times a week.
Oh my.
And then they'll come in and say, hey, June, hey, can I pray for you? You know that Jesus loves you. I'm like, yeah. And not only do I give out blessings, our customers give us the blessings some days. You know, I mean, we're the only, I think we're only one of the very stores that people come in and bring us gifts daily. Food daily.
Yes.
Like really, like, oh yeah, we have to bring you this, Junior. I'm like, or our workers like, oh, we have to give you this, or they'll tip them $100, you know, like.
It's
just
amazing. I was here one day. A family had flown in from Molokai, and they brought Molokai bread, blessed the staff, and I'm trying to buy shoes. I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were having potluck today. Break some bread, communion, but that's how it is. And Junior, the thing is, God transformed your life radically, like an Apostle Paul. He took a drug dealer that became a hope dealer. You're in Pearl Ridge, you're in Windward Mall, you're out at Kamakana in Kapolei, and now we're looking at even advancing even further, because the Spirit of God is burning through your hearts. What do you look forward to every day that you come to work, Junior?
Man, I wake up my day and I say, whatever God you have for me today, whatever you want me to do to be a blessing to somebody.
Some days we just ask God, whoever you need us to meet today, bring them here, we're ready.
Yeah. It's always like that. I'm so gracious that He can turn somebody that was so lost and give them a chance, in a second chance in life. Yeah. And
I know there's a lot of making up that he feels he has to do, you know, for like whatever wrongs he did in the past. He just wants to double, triple, quadruple the rights on this side. So we're so blessed to have this opportunity and this platform, you know. And we tell our workers when they come in, you have the opportunity to touch someone. You know, people come in broken and hurt with big smiles on their faces, and it's really up to you whether you want to go deep. You can either just say, hi, how are you? Or you can say, hey, how's your day? Where did you come from? And just go a little deeper. And the stories that come out of that are just mind-blowing, you know?
You know, Shari, this is more than the classic example of marketplace ministry, where God is using both of you and your staff to pastor, to shepherd, and to love people, and to share the love of Jesus with them. And hearing your testimony, Junior, and hearing how, like any man, you thought, okay, I'm going to turn my life around, and you were working really hard, right? And then God speaks to you, Shari, about this vision that you weren't
In agreement.
right. Tell us about that, because, you know, how the Lord, He had a plan.
Yeah, he
and
had
you
a
knew
plan.
it. Tell us
He had a
that.
plan. I mean, we've been doing this business for 20 years. Weekends, we would just go and hustle and just try to
every
get
weekend,
everywhere.
we try to
you know,
feed stores, surf shops,
Craft fairs.
anything you could think of,
market.
and we would beg them. We take our shirts and say, we just need a chance. We want to give you this shirt. If you sell it, you just give us back what we paid for it, but we just want to spread our brand. How many people said they were going to call us,
Yeah. And I feel
Zero.
like there's just a point where God is going to open the door. And when it's God's timing, it's always perfect timing. We're just regular people. We're so blessed. You know, sometimes we're like, how do we get here? How are we allowed to do what we do and have this platform to...
For us, I think the day she took me down from church at New Hope Windward and she said, Junior, this is going to be our space. I was like, are you crazy? We're not buying this space. She goes, no, we're going to buy this space. I said,
Right.
if you do this, and I'm paying for my mortgage, I'm paying for my cars, I'm paying my oldest son to go to college, I would have to not sleep and then pay for a store that nobody wanted our clothes anyway. Kind of didn't really make sense to me, but she went behind my back. She opened the first Windward Mall location 6.5 years ago.
6 years, yeah.
Junior, with your testimony and with the vision that God gave you, that's why your testimony for the Lord is so powerful. You know?
Amen. And every local boy can really relate, as I would assume and know, as I know that I know, because you even reach out now and you said, my husband is trying to make up for a lot of the things you did in your past. You help with prison ministries. You've given to Camp Agape, which is for children whose parents may be in prison, are in prison. You guys come and you show up with boxes of fresh, brand new t-shirts, things that these kids may never get. And their eyes, they light up, they're crying, they're thinking, somebody sees me, somebody loves me. That's what you folks do. Now, Junior, tell us a little bit more about your testimony and what happened, because I'm sure people really want to know, wait, how he was going to throw his wife over the H3?
That's one of the best cliffhangers I ever heard you share. 'Cause I was like, we're going to shift gears.
We're going to hold on that right now. We'll just hold cliffhanger, Hanaho, and we'll come right back. But thank you and stay right there. This is Living Hope TV with our special guests. It's Junior and Shari Yamaguchi.
If I'm being honest, when we first came to New Hope, we were a bit nervous.
I didn't know anyone here.
This whole Christianity thing kind of weirded me out.
But we both soon discovered
that's exactly what we needed.
Here at New Hope, I found a place where I belong.
Where I found my new besties.
A place where my children can grow up.
And a place to grow old with a young at heart.
here at New Hope, I found my voice.
A place where I can be creative. And worship God with my whole heart.
I found freedom.
Second chance in life.
A place where I'm loved just as I am.
New Hope is home.
It's family.
There's a place for you.
So join us this weekend at New Hope Oahu, and soon you'll find that even today, hope is alive.
For more information, visit enewhope.org.
Aloha everyone, and welcome back to Living Hope. Dawn and I are here again with Junior and Shari of Blessed Life, and you have been a blessing to us in this show. Amazing, amazing. You're gonna continue with your cliffhanger.
I left you on a cliffhanger. The guy's gonna dump his wife's body over the H3. Now I gotta drive over H3 really careful and wonder what other EV is out there. But share your testimony a little bit, please, family, and really from your heart, because you're just regular local people. And here you are. It looks so successful, but nobody knows the struggle in the valley. Nobody knows that the victory came through valleys, and it still is.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. We just talked about this morning, yeah. How lucky, and if it wasn't for all of this, and it wasn't for the beginning, which nobody wants to go through, is that there is hope to a lot of things that you're going through difficulty in your life. There's so much hope if you just trust God. You know, I mean, first and foremost, it was me giving my life to Jesus, and I don't know if you guys heard about that at the carnival, I looked up as my son was in the fun house. My girlfriend was standing here, I was standing here, and I just looked up to God, and I just said, God, if you're for real, I just want a second chance with my family. You gave me that chance, I surrender my life to you. And I grabbed her by the hand, and I said to her, I don't know what I thought a man was, but it surely wasn't what I thought it was, and I want to change, I want to be better. I grabbed her by the hand, I asked her for a second chance, she said, okay. I put this tattoo on my arm to remember the promise that I made to the Lord. I surrendered my life to Jesus Christ, and we're standing in one of the greatest faith-based retail stores in Hawaii.
That's right.
We changed so many lives to this store. We impact so many kids. We give hope to so many broken marriages. And it was just a time of my life where I thought I didn't even want to live. I was too gutless to kill myself. So I paid my usos in Oakland to come down, and they were sitting at a bar. She used to work at Players. And the plan was to just grab her out of her car and throw her over the H tree, and I would get my son. Being a drug dealer and having a lot of money, I thought that was the answer to all my problems at that time. But the only real solution was to surrender my life to Jesus, and yeah, I'm just so blessed that
And it was a journey of coming back to church and just finding Jesus.
It was a struggle for me, even knowing that my mom used to take me to church every Sunday. But man, there's a really big difference with believing in God and believing in God.
Yes.
And June, your mom prayed for you for almost 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
Relentless. When you were in the life, she prayed. And could you just tell us that is the logo? Everybody thinks that it's a crown for Blessed Life Store, but it's not a crown. It is a crown, but what is it really?
Yeah, it was a day. I visited my son in the visitation center. I would see my son for 1 hour every other week, and I would have to be in a 10-by-10 room with a counselor, and it was time to go, and my son just started screaming. The counselor had to drag him to her car, and that was a day that I wanted to die. Wow. I got in my car, and I heard this voice. He said, "Junior, you're blessed." I was looking around in my car as I was crying. I was like, how could I be blessed? I lost my job, I lost my family, I lost my son. I lost all the money fighting for my son. I was paying crazy court costs. And I drove home to Hawaii, and there's one lady that was waiting for me. She said, "Son, let go and let God." Amen. I was like, let's go pray. When two or more gathered, God will appear. And I was like, that's right. Well, whatever, let's go pray. I got nothing else to lose. I mean, I might as well go pray. And she prayed for me. I drove to Kahala, Barnes & Nobles. My little pencil and a piece of photo paper, and I drew me and my mom praying for her.
People are going through hard times right now, extremely unprecedented hard times.
You know, that testimony is so powerful.
Hallelujah.
But what I'm feeling right now is that while you're going through all that, there's another testimony here. So all that God was doing in you, Junior, during that time, what was going on with you, Shari?
It was a lot. It was tough, and at the time I knew I just had to find Jesus, and I started going back to church with my son and just trying to work on myself and what I wanted for a life with my child. And I believe that was the start of reconciliation. And he went back to church on his own, and God kind of allowed us to come back together through that.
Because that was a pivotal moment when you were at the Punahou Carnival. Yeah. You actually allowed him to come. You let your son know, Dad, you can come. And you guys were going through the whole thing with TROs, court cases, lawyer. And then he reached out and grabbed your hand. Yeah. What was your thought in that moment when he grabbed your hand? Because a woman's heart always yearns for her husband.
When I think about that, I feel like just grace, because I had been going to church. I mean, God just imparted grace for the situation. I could just think of my son and everything I wanted for him, and the family, and the life that I envisioned for my son.
Wow, thank you for sharing that grace really can build a bridge that has been wiped out, impossible impasse, and it can bring a family together.
So right now, what has God given you in terms of anything about the future for Blessed Life? What would you share with them about anything going forward?
Recently, for this whole time that we opened in the last 5 years, I had a full-time job. And over the last couple years, God had really put it on my heart. He's like, why do you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out? You have to trust me fully to go into this marketplace ministry. And it took me a little while. And in November, I finally left my full-time job that I was doing for 15 years. But I feel like it opened up so many different avenues. We with the CD.
I
I mean,
got the
just
blessing
different.
The worship
different-
album with the
Came up
katinas,
with our first
with
worship
blessed
album.
party.
With blessed party and
We're just open to whatever God downloads and direction He takes. And,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for the guys out there that wanna start their own, I think they just first and foremost gotta trust God.
Yes.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people doing their daily jobs that feel they can, but they're scared. And you know what? When you trust God, you don't have that spirit of fear anymore. You know, you trust Him that He will supply all your needs of workman's comp, insurance. I know it's kind of scary, but I encourage anybody out there that has an idea like, hey, I'm painting. Why am I painting for this guy? I should start my own painting company, you know? And is it a challenge? Yes, you gotta work your every day, every night, but eventually you're your own business owner.
That's
and it's a bigger deal when you must know, yeah.
You're building the dream God gave you. You're not building somebody else's dream.
Yes, and
you're building your vision.
And coming from, you know, like even when you ask me that, like, June, how is it now? I wake up every morning, you know, Dawn, going, I cannot believe this.
Amen, brother.
God is so good.
Amen.
I went from weighing packages of ice, putting cocaine on the scale, flying out of island to grab weed and bring it back to Honolulu. But you know what I get to do now? I'm an entrepreneur. When people say, June, what are you? I'm like, bro, I'm an entrepreneur now.
Yes, sir.
Like, bro, I get to bless people. I get to create clothes that inspire.
And I would have to say in the beginning, I think stewarding what you have in the small times, that first store was like in a dark hallway.
You
but
remember
we
that first
treated
store,
that
huh?
like that was Ala Moana. That was our Las Vegas.
Yes,
we
all the way in the
loved that
back,
store.
in the dark, when nobody let go, when nobody could
feel
see
like
us.
Stewarding that, God has opened so many other doors.
And Jesus says
to
that
where
if
we
you're
are.
faithful in little, you'll be faithful with much. Hey, we're going to turn it back towards you, and we want to encourage you. As you've heard Junior and Shari's story today, if you're a praying mom, and June's mom prayed for 37 years and never saw anything, but she kept praying. If you're a believing girlfriend whose own life is being threatened, and we know that's reality nowadays in these tough times, keep believing, keep praying. 2 Corinthians 5:7, he's a new creation in Christ. The old has passed away. Come on, you've got this. So from our hearts at Living Hope TV and from the Blessed Life Store, come check them out there at Windward Mall, at Kamakana Ali'i in Kapolei, as well as here at Pearl Ridge. We love you. God bless you. Keep believing.
Now that was a divine appointment authored by our good God. Wow.
It was anointed and appointed, amazing and ablazing. The Holy Spirit coming through as Junior shared the overflow of his heart.
And Shari's no matter what attitude to go after God's best no matter what. You know, it's life stories like that, regular, humble, everyday local people who say yes to God in the hardest of circumstances. That's the power of the divine.
Yes. Hey, next time you pop by the mall, stop by the Blessed Life Store and bless them. It may be as simple as a smile, a shaka, a compliment, or a prayer. Just know they're a church disguised as a retail store, and they'd sure appreciate your good blessings.
As we close, today's Hawaiian word is pomaikai, which means blessing. The Hawaiians strive to practice the art of blessing in everything that we did. Whether planting taro, going fishing, raising families, or singing a song, no matter what we do, our spirit, while we work, comes through in the work. So be sure to always carry a heart of pomaikai blessing, hence the blessed life.
As we bid you aloha ohana, always know that our hope is that you will always have a living hope.